ABCD and ABEF are parallelograms. We need to find the angle DAC, which I'm going to call X right there. Okay, now let's use some laws of angles within parallelograms to figure this out. And some of these laws you have seen in the past couple of videos. Some of these things might seem obvious, but it's important that we are able to prove what we say. So the first law that I'm going to use is that two angles between two parallel lines in a parallelogram add up to 180 degrees. So the angles that I'm looking at right now are this one here and this whole angle over here, which contains this angle CBE. So I know that altogether those two angles, let's use a slightly thicker pen, add up to 180 degrees. So if I subtract 58 degrees and 66 degrees, what I'm left over with is 56 degrees. So I know that this piece over here is 56 degrees. Okay, great. So far so good. Next, I'm going to use the fact that two opposite angles in a parallelogram are the same. And the two angles that I'm thinking about right now are this angle here, BEF, and this angle here, FAB. So they are the same, therefore. So they are both 58 degrees. So I know that this angle here is 58 degrees. So by the law of angles in a triangle, the total number of angles is 180 degrees. So if I subtract 58 degrees and 56 degrees from 180, what I'm going to be left with, and I've already done this calculation, so some of these things start to look familiar. I've already discovered that the leftover angle would be 66 degrees. Okay, so now I have options. Here I'm looking at a different parallelogram. Now I'm going to be looking at A, B, C, D. And once again, I'm going to remember that the opposite angles are the same, so they are 56 degrees. And now there's just a couple of pieces that I don't have. Now, if I know that opposite angles are the same, I know that the total number of angles in a quadrilateral angles sum is 360 degrees. I know that total of the angles in ABCD is 360 degrees. I know that two of those angles are 56. So I'm going to subtract 56 twice. And what I'm left over with is 248. So I now know, and I'm going to switch colors, that between these two leftover angles, this whole one here and this whole one here, is 248 degrees. And I know they are the same. So if I divide by 2, I'm left with 124 degrees. So I know that each one of these blue angles is 124 degrees, but I need to know X. So I know that part of this 124 degree angle is 58 degrees. So if I subtract that, what I'm going to end up with is 66 degrees, and that is our answer. So we found out that angle X is 66 degrees. And by now, what you might be starting to pick up on is that inside a parallelogram, if there is a diagonal line connecting two opposite angles, the angles that are formed on either side of that line on the opposite angles are the same. So this angle here is 66 degrees, this angle here is 66 degrees, and up here this angle is 58 degrees, and guess what? This angle here is also going to be 58 degrees. Think about that.